Oh, look who's here bright and early. First slot of the day. Now, aren't you just ready to get down to business? First off, how are those treats? Sugar always perks me up at the start of the day. That's the fun part about being an adult, you know? No one can tell you that you aren't allowed to start with dessert. The chef always appreciates showing off whatever it is I ask of him. And he'd really appreciate a glowing review from you. Otherwise, he might be out of a job. Looks like he's guaranteed at least one more payment. Let's see if he can keep it up for the rest of my clients today. The books are full for today, so let's not waste each other's time. So, how are things going? Not too good by the looks of it. I thought you'd wait to come by until you were less mopey, but you look like you haven't slept since the funeral. I expected a month or two would have been enough time to sort out any residual feelings, so color me surprised. Has his family been tearing your house apart for his belongings or something? I could have told you that's how it was going to go, and it probably would have saved you the extra heartache. They made their priorities very clear during the funeral. Are there any items of value or products you need for basic living that they took off your hands? I just need to add it to the list of expenses in case we decide to continue this arrangement. Furnishings don't come cheap, after all, and I couldn't possibly embarrass my staff by sending them out to any old second-hand market. You never know where any of that trash has been, so I need to consider reputable sources. And of course, getting back priceless heirlooms is a task in and of itself. It's not as simple as walking up to his family home and offering to buy everything back. Money isn't the issue. Giving them exactly what they want is. I see no reason to reward them for causing you needless grief, especially while you're still trying to get back on your feet. So I need to take a different approach. Don't you worry. I did a bit of digging before our meeting so I could come up with a proper solution. And the wonderful thing is, I didn't have to look very far. Funny story, actually. Before you announced your engagement to Francois, I was certain you weren't interested in having a relationship at all, considering how you rejected me with zero hesitation. So when you told me, I had to know what sort of person could get past those barriers you set up for yourself. It was mostly for your sake, of course. Knowing how he planned to provide for you was something I didn't want to overlook. The supplemental payments I sent had to be calculated around that, after all. It was mostly for your sake, of course. Knowing how he planned to provide for you was something I didn't want to overlook. The supplemental payments I sent had to be calculated around that, after all. I was a little surprised that he was considering working for one of the local manufacturers until I found out that his parents have been employed there for several years. I suppose he assumed he'd have an easier time getting hired. Unfortunately, circumstances wouldn't have been in his favor if he ever had the chance to apply. You see, manufacturers like those tend to hire based on current demand, so during wartime there's more positions available. But as conflict dies down, there's less need for those extra positions. I know the business very well. The owner and I actually have a long history working together. A very good friend of mine. Regularly consults me on how to run things more efficiently. profits are going to start coming down very soon. So we actually plan to discuss some methods on how to cut the fat so the business doesn't go under. Meaning, several positions might be on the chopping block. Both of us value hard-working employees who have positive attitudes that match how we want our brands to be viewed. So there won't be room for anyone who would tarnish our reputations by making fools of themselves in public. And when you have no place acting as the face of our brands, you get cut. No one needs to be dragged down by awful people like that. Certainly not you, and certainly not anyone else who doesn't deserve that. And if I want good people to continue succeeding, then it's my duty to warn them before they make the mistake of hiring anyone with that reputation. They deserve as much as they're worth. And if they're worth nothing, then they'll earn nothing. They'll have no choice but to sell the clothes off their backs if they want to make ends meet. Sooner or later, those heirlooms will go on the market. And personally, I'd be more than willing to take them off their hands for a decent price. It's never about the money. It's about ruining people who have done more harm than good. They stole from you. They left you in the dust during the most vulnerable time of your life. And they graced this world with that poor excuse of a son. Call it whatever you want, but at the end of the day, I'm here to help you. I know. I know this is why you don't love me. But this isn't a personal matter, remember? It's business. There's no point treating this as a simple favor. Favors come for free. I don't mind helping out a loved one when they need it. But if you want to make this transactional, I'm willing to take that route. All those things you want back aren't free for me, so they won't be for you. We can set up a payment plan for you. Anything I purchase for you adds to your debt, be it necessities or miscellaneous expenses. And the less you pay me back, the longer you'll be in my debt. It could be forever for all we know. And that just means more time spent together. Like it or not, that's what relying on me entails for people who want to keep our relationship professional. But if having debt is too much of a weight on your shoulders, you can always change your mind. Being in love makes it less taxing on you, and it's much more enjoyable for us both. You don't have to pay me to love you, but I do expect love in return if that's how you want to go about this. I'm not happy making you pay for anything, but if a transaction is all you want out of our relationship, I can't allow myself to be taken advantage of. That's why I'd offer a compromise. Taking some time to get to know me and understand where I'm coming from might make the decision easier. And I'm not asking that of you right now. I know you aren't ready to commit to a relationship so soon, to me especially. But that's why we don't have to agree on anything today. Still, I know time is running out for you. Necessities don't pay for themselves. Give it some thought for our next meeting. Unfortunately, I can't extend today's session. I have an obligation to meet with my next client on time. I'm completely booked for today and the rest of the week, so it's best if you get the next meeting scheduled as soon as possible. I make time for loved ones, but my professional relationships get no special treatment. So I'm afraid you can't have it both ways. There's no winning or losing here. At the end of the day, I want us both to be happy with whatever decision you make. Just remember that even if the schedule is booked, The door to the dining room is always open for good company. I'm sure the schedule can give you meal times if you ask. I do hope to see you again soon, through whichever avenue you choose. It's been a pleasure having you here. Until next time.